In the last episode, Alex and his companions discovered the shocking truth about the Kyrene network and, with Lirien's guidance, they set out to track down the rogue Aetherian archon to prevent Aetheria's downfall. Their journey has taken them through treacherous landscapes, forging unexpected alliances and uncovering hidden Aetherian artifacts. As they navigate the perilous path ahead, their bond and determination are tested in the face of daunting trials. I stood at the edge of the settlement, gazing out at the eerie energy rifts that crisscrossed the horizon. The air was heavy with an otherworldly presence, and I could feel the weight of Aetheria's ancient history bearing down on me. Lirien approached, her eyes scanning the horizon. The Aetherian artifacts we've found so far have hinted at a deeper connection between the echo fractors and the rogue archon. I believe we're getting close to unraveling the mystery. A gust of wind swept across the settlement, carrying the sound of approaching aviari. Aaron's kin had been invaluable allies, providing crucial aerial support as we navigated the treacherous landscapes. As the aviari landed, Aaron dismounted, his expression grim. We've received reports of a heavily fortified stronghold in the area, likely the seat of the rogue archon's power. We'll need to be cautious. The echo fractors won't give up without a fight. I nodded, my mind racing with the implications. We need to gather more information about the stronghold's defenses. Lirien, can you scan for any hidden dangers? Lirien closed her eyes, her fingers weaving intricate patterns in the air. I'm picking up signs of an ancient security system, one that could prove deadly if we're not careful. I steeled myself for the challenge ahead. We'll need to move swiftly and quietly. Aaron, prepare the aviari for a stealthy approach. Let's get eyes on the stronghold without alerting the echo fractors. As we set out, a sense of trepidation settled over me. The road ahead would be fraught with danger, but with my companions by my side, I felt a glimmer of hope. We were in this together, and together we would bring the echo fractors to justice. The landscape shifted and twisted around us, leading us deeper into the heart of Aetheria. I could feel the stakes escalating with every step, the weight of our quest settling heavier on my shoulders. And then, without warning, the air seemed to split apart, revealing a figure standing at the threshold of the stronghold. Nightshade! Her eyes locked onto mine, a cold smile spreading across her face. The game is on, Alex. Let's see who emerges victorious. I drew a deep breath, steeling myself for the battle ahead. The fate of Aetheria hung in the balance, and I was ready to face whatever came next. Previously, Alex and his companions had just confronted Nightshade, who had appeared at the threshold of the rogue archon's stronghold, sparking a high-stakes showdown. The echo fractors were closing in, and the fate of Aetheria teetered on the brink of chaos. With Lirien's guidance, they had been navigating treacherous landscapes and uncovering hidden Aetherian artifacts, but the road ahead would be fraught with danger. As Nightshade's cold smile lingered in my mind, I steeled myself for the battle ahead. The air seemed to vibrate with tension, and I could feel the weight of Aetheria's future hanging precariously in the balance. I took a deep breath, my eyes locked onto Nightshade's, and began to walk towards her. "You've been a thorn in our side for far too long, Nightshade," I said, my voice firm and resolute. "It's time to put an end to your schemes." Nightshade chuckled, her eyes glinting with amusement. "You're brave, Alex. I'll give you that. But you have no idea what you're up against. The rogue archon has prepared a surprise for you, one that will change the course of Aetheria's history forever." With a wave of her hand, the air around us began to distort, and a figure emerged from the shadows. I recognized the newcomer as Kale, a former Aetherian scholar who had been thought to be long dead. Kale's eyes locked onto mine, a mixture of sadness and determination etched on his face. "Alex, I'm sorry it had to come to this. I had hoped you would see things my way, but I suppose that's not meant to be." I felt a pang of confusion and curiosity. What had driven Kale to ally himself with Nightshade and the rogue archon? "Kale, what's going on?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "Why are you working with them?" Kale's expression turned bitter. I've been working to unlock the secrets of Aetheria's ancient technology, but the echofractors have been holding me back. They promised me the resources and knowledge I needed to complete my research, but at a steep price. I took a step forward, my mind racing with the implications. "What do you mean?" Kale's eyes seemed to cloud over, and his voice dropped to a whisper. "They want to harness the power of the Aetherian artifacts to create a new source of energy, one that will give them control over the entire realm. But there's a catch. The process will destabilize the fabric of Aetheria's reality, causing widespread destruction and chaos." I felt a surge of horror and determination. We couldn't let that happen. "Not if we have anything to say about it," I said, my voice firm. The battle ahead would be intense, but with my companions by my side, I felt a glimmer of hope. We would fight to protect Aetheria, no matter the cost. As we charged forward, the landscape around us seemed to come alive. The energy rifts pulsed with energy, and the air vibrated with tension. I could feel the stakes escalating with every step, the weight of our quest settling heavier on my shoulders, but I refused to back down. With a newfound sense of purpose, I led my companions into the fray, determined to bring the echofractors to justice and save Aetheria from destruction. The battle raged on, with spells and swords clashing in a flurry of motion. I fought with every ounce of strength I possessed, my bond with my companions and the land itself fueling my determination. As the dust began to settle, I caught sight of Nightshade, her eyes blazing with fury. "You may have won this battle," she snarled, "but the war is far from over." I smiled, a sense of hope and determination burning within me. "I'm ready for whatever comes next," I said, my voice firm. "We'll see this through to the end, no matter what." And with that, I knew that our journey was far from over. The fate of Aetheria still hung in the balance, and we had a long road ahead of us. But I was ready, armed with the knowledge that we would face the challenges ahead together, as a team. As we stood victorious but not yet triumphant, I caught sight of a glowing light on the horizon. It was a beacon, one that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Lirien approached me, her eyes shining with excitement. "Alex, I think I've found something," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "This beacon may be the key to unlocking the secrets of Aetheria's ancient technology." I felt a surge of hope and curiosity. What secrets lay hidden in the beacon, and how would they change the course of our journey? With a sense of wonder and trepidation, I turned towards the beacon, ready to face whatever lay ahead. The journey ahead would be fraught with danger, but with my companions by my side, I was ready to face whatever came next. Previously, Alex had just confronted Nightshade at the threshold of the rogue archon stronghold, sparking a high-stakes showdown. Kale, a former Aetherian scholar thought to be long dead, had emerged as a surprise ally to Nightshade, revealing a sinister plot to harness the power of Aetherian artifacts. The echofractors' plan threatened to destabilize the fabric of Aetheria's reality, causing widespread destruction and chaos. As I gazed into the glowing beacon, its pulsing energy seemed to reverberate deep within my chest. Lirien's words hung in the air, filled with promise and uncertainty. I could feel the weight of our quest shifting, as if the beacon held the key to unlocking not only the secrets of Aetheria's ancient technology, but also the fate of our world. "Let's find out," I said, my voice barely above a whisper, as I took a step towards the beacon. Lirien nodded, her eyes shining with excitement. "I sense a resonance frequency emanating from the beacon. If we can tap into it, we might be able to unlock its secrets." With a wave of her hand, Lirien summoned a delicate, crystalline orb that began to glow in harmony with the beacon. The air around us seemed to vibrate as the orb resonated with the beacon's energy, and a holographic projection flickered to life before us. The projection depicted an ancient Aetherian city hidden deep within a labyrinthine network of crystal caverns. The city's architecture seemed to defy gravity, with sweeping spires and grand arches that shimmered with an otherworldly light. "This is the lost city of Eldrita," Lirien whispered, her voice filled with awe. Legend has it that Eldrita holds the secrets of Aetheria's creation, as well as the key to controlling the Echofractor's technology. I felt a surge of hope and determination. We had to explore Eldrita, no matter the risks. As we set out towards the lost city, we encountered a group of enigmatic beings known as the Guardians of Eldrita. They were ancient, wise, and powerful, with a deep understanding of Aetheria's secrets. The Guardians presented us with a challenge to prove ourselves worthy of unlocking Eldrita's secrets. We had to complete a trial by combat against a fearsome, ancient construct known as the Keeper of Eldrita. The Keeper was a massive, golem-like creature crafted from the very essence of Aetheria's crystal caverns. Its body shimmered with a fierce blue light, and its eyes burned with an inner fire. The battle was intense, with the Keeper's attacks threatening to crush us at every turn. But with my companions by my side, I found a newfound sense of strength and determination. As we fought, I began to realize that the Keeper was not just a mindless construct. It was a guardian, tasked with protecting Eldrita's secrets from those who would misuse them. In a moment of clarity, I reached out to the Keeper, using my bond with the land and my companions to connect with its ancient, crystalline heart. The Keeper's attack ceased, and it regarded me with a newfound sense of curiosity. I sensed a deep wisdom and knowledge within its ancient mind, and I knew that we had passed the trial. The Guardians of Eldrita nodded in approval, and the entrance to Eldrita swung open, revealing a labyrinthine network of crystal caverns and ancient ruins. As we ventured deeper into Eldrita, we discovered a series of ancient artifacts and relics that held the secrets of Aetheria's creation. We learned about the Echofractor's true intentions and the catastrophic consequences of their plan, but our journey was far from over. The rogue Archon and Nightshade still posed a threat, and we had to stop them before it was too late. With the secrets of Eldrita guiding us, we steeled ourselves for the final confrontation. The fate of Aetheria hung in the balance, and we were determined to save our world, no matter the cost. As we journeyed deeper into the heart of Eldrita, we encountered a group of Aetherian adepts who had been working in secret to undermine the Echofractor's plans. They were a mysterious and reclusive group, but their knowledge and skills would prove invaluable in our quest to stop the Echofractors. The adepts revealed that they had discovered a hidden weakness in the Echofractor's technology, a vulnerability that we could exploit to disable their plans. But we would have to act quickly, as the Echofractors were closing in on their goal. With a newfound sense of hope and determination, we set out to gather the resources and allies we needed to stop the Echofractors. The road ahead would be fraught with danger, but we were ready to face whatever came next. As we walked, the crystal caverns seemed to shimmer and glow around us, filling us with a sense of wonder and awe. We knew that we were on the cusp of a great adventure, one that would take us to the very heart of Aetheria, and we were ready. Previously, I had just confronted the Keeper of Eldrita, a fearsome ancient construct guarding the lost city's secrets, and had successfully passed the trial by combat, connecting with the Keeper's crystalline heart and gaining its trust. The Guardians of Eldrita had then revealed to us that we were worthy of unlocking Eldrita's secrets, and the entrance to the city had swung open, revealing a labyrinthine network of crystal caverns and ancient ruins. As we ventured deeper into Eldrita, we had discovered a series of ancient artifacts and relics that held the secrets of Aetheria's creation. As I walked through the crystal caverns, the air seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy. The ancient artifacts and relics we had discovered so far had provided invaluable insights into Aetheria's history, but we knew that there was still much to uncover. Lirien's eyes sparkled with excitement as she examined a delicate crystalline sphere that glowed with a soft, pulsing light. "This is it," she whispered, her voice filled with awe. "This is the Aetherian Oracle, a device capable of revealing the deepest secrets of the universe." I felt a surge of excitement and trepidation. We had to be careful, as the Oracle's power could be overwhelming. Suddenly, a holographic projection flickered to life before us, depicting a vision of Aetheria's future. The image showed a desolate, barren landscape with twisted, corrupted crystal formations that seemed to writhe and twist like living things. "This is the future that awaits Aetheria if the echofractors succeed," Lirien whispered, her voice filled with horror. I felt a surge of determination. We had to stop the echofractors, no matter the cost. The Oracle's vision began to shift and change, revealing a new path forward. We saw a hidden underground city filled with Aetherian adepts and rebels who had been working in secret to undermine the echofractors' plans. The Oracle revealed that the city, known as New Elysium, was the key to stopping the echofractors. We had to make contact with the city's leader, a mysterious figure known only as the Archon of Elysium. As we journeyed towards New Elysium, we encountered a group of rogue Aetherian warriors who had defected from the echofractors' ranks. They were battle-hardened and weary, but their determination to make amends for their past actions was palpable. The warriors, led by a grizzled veteran named Thrain, revealed that they had discovered a weakness in the echofractors' defenses. They had been trying to find a way to disable the echofractors' technology, but they needed our help to do so. I felt a surge of hope and determination. We had found a new ally, and together we could make a difference. As we approached New Elysium, we were met with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. The city's inhabitants had been living in secret for so long, and they were wary of outsiders. But when we revealed our mission and our allies, the Archon of Elysium emerged from the shadows. She was a wise and compassionate leader with a deep understanding of Aetheria's secrets. The Archon revealed that New Elysium had been working on a top-secret project to create a device capable of absorbing the echofractors' energy. The device, known as the Aetherian Anchor, was our best hope for stopping the echofractors and restoring balance to Aetheria. But as we began to discuss the details of the plan, a sudden alarm sounded throughout the city. The echofractors had discovered New Elysium's location, and they were closing in on the city. The Archon of Elysium's expression turned grim. "We have to act now," she said. "We have to get the Aetherian Anchor online and stop the echofractors before it's too late." I felt a surge of adrenaline. We had to move quickly, and we had to be ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With a newfound sense of purpose, we set out to complete the Aetherian Anchor and stop the echofractors. The fate of Aetheria hung in the balance, and we were determined to save our world no matter the cost. As we worked on the Aetherian Anchor, I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and hope. We had come so far, and we had grown so much as individuals and as a team. I looked around at my companions, and I knew that we were ready for whatever lay ahead. We had each other's backs, and we were united in our determination to save Aetheria. The road ahead would be fraught with danger, but we were ready to face it head-on. We were the heroes that Aetheria needed, and we would do everything in our power to save our world. With a newfound sense of confidence and determination, we completed the Aetherian Anchor and prepared to face the echofractors. The fate of Aetheria hung in the balance, and we were ready to tip the scales. As we stood before the Aetherian Anchor, I felt a sense of calm and focus. We had done everything we could, and now it was time to face the consequences. The echofractors' army approached, their twisted, corrupted forms looming large in the distance. But we were not afraid. We were ready. With a deep breath, I reached out and activated the Aetherian Anchor. The device hummed to life, and a brilliant light filled the air. The echofractors' army faltered, their corrupted forms beginning to dissipate as the Aetherian Anchor's energy washed over them. The air seemed to clear, and the land began to heal. I felt a surge of hope and joy. We had done it. We had saved Aetheria. But as we stood victorious, I knew that our journey was far from over. There were still challenges to face, still mysteries to uncover, and I knew that I was ready. The future was bright, and I was excited to see what lay ahead. I was no longer the same person who had stumbled into Aetheria all those months ago. I had grown, I had changed, and I had become something more. I was a hero, and I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Previously, I had just activated the Aetherian anchor, a device capable of absorbing the Echofractor's energy and restoring balance to Aetheria. The Echofractor's army had begun to dissipate, and the land had started to heal. But as we stood victorious, I knew that our journey was far from over, and the sudden appearance of a mysterious energy signature on the horizon threatened to disrupt the fragile peace. The air seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy as the signature grew stronger, and I could feel the weight of uncertainty settling in. Lirien's eyes narrowed as she examined the energy signature, her expression a mix of concern and curiosity. "This is not natural," she said, her voice low and urgent. "It's as if the Echofractor's technology has merged with something else, something ancient and powerful." I felt a shiver run down my spine as I gazed out at the energy signature, my mind racing with questions. What was this new threat, and how could we stop it? I turned to Lirien, my eyes locked on hers. "What do you think it is?" I asked, my voice firm. Lirien's expression was grim. "I'm not sure," she said, "but I think it's connected to the ancient being known as the Devourer of Ethers. A being of immense power and destruction, said to be capable of consuming entire dimensions." The words sent a chill down my spine, and I knew that we had to act quickly. We gathered our companions and approached the energy signature, our senses on high alert. As we drew closer, the air grew thick with an otherworldly energy, and I could feel the hairs on the back of my neck standing on end. The energy signature coalesced into a massive, swirling portal, and I felt a sense of trepidation. This was it, our next great challenge. I steeled myself and stepped forward, my companions by my side. As we entered the portal, I felt a strange sensation, as if I was being pulled apart and put back together again. The world around me dissolved into a kaleidoscope of colors and sounds, and I felt my mind reeling. When I opened my eyes, I found myself in a vast, alien landscape. The sky was a deep, burning red, and the ground was covered in a fine, glittering dust. Strange, twisted creatures roamed the landscape, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly energy. Lirien's voice was calm and steady beside me. "This is the realm of the ethers," she said, "a place of immense power and danger. We need to find the source of the Devourer's power and stop it before it's too late." I nodded, my heart pounding in my chest. We had to do this. We had to save Aetheria, no matter the cost. As we journeyed through the realm, we encountered strange and wondrous creatures, some of whom became our allies, while others sought to do us harm. We navigated treacherous landscapes and overcame ancient security systems, all the while seeking the source of the Devourer's power. One of the creatures we met was a being known as the Keeper of the Gate, a powerful entity tasked with guarding the entrance to the realm. The Keeper was ancient and wise, with eyes that seemed to see right through me. "Why have you come to the realm?" the Keeper asked, its voice like thunder. I explained our quest, and the Keeper listened intently. After a moment of consideration, it nodded its great head. "I will give you a gift," it said. "A map that will lead you to the source of the Devourer's power. But be warned, the journey will be fraught with danger, and you will need all your wits and strength to succeed." The Keeper handed me a small, delicate crystal, and I felt a surge of gratitude. We were one step closer to stopping the Devourer and saving Aetheria. As we continued our journey, we encountered more challenges and obstacles, but we also discovered hidden strengths and abilities within ourselves. We grew and learned, becoming stronger and more resilient with each step. And then, After what seemed like an eternity, we reached the heart of the realm, a massive crystalline structure that pulsed with the Devourer's power. I could feel the energy emanating from it, a palpable force that seemed to call to me. Lirien's voice was calm and steady beside me. "This is it," she said. "This is the source of the Devourer's power. We need to destroy it." I nodded, my heart pounding in my chest. We had come so far, and now it was time to finish the job. With a deep breath, I reached out and touched the crystal structure. The energy surged through me, and I felt my mind expanding, connecting with the Devourer's power. In that moment, I knew that I had a choice to make. I could use the Devourer's power to destroy it, or I could try to find another way. I looked at my companions, and I knew what I had to do. I had to find another way. With a newfound sense of determination, I began to work on a solution, using my newfound connection to the Devourer's power to find a way to balance the energy and restore harmony to the realm. It was a difficult and complex task, but I was determined to succeed. And as I worked, I felt a sense of growth and transformation, a sense of becoming something more. The journey was far from over, but I was ready. I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing that I had the strength and resilience to overcome them. In the end, we succeeded in balancing the energy and restoring harmony to the realm. The Devourer's power was no longer a threat, and Aetheria was safe. As we stood victorious, I felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. We had done it. We had saved Aetheria. And as I looked out at the new, restored landscape, I knew that our journey was far from over. There were still challenges to face, still mysteries to uncover, but I was ready. The future was bright, and I was excited to see what lay ahead. I was no longer the same person who had stumbled into Aetheria all those months ago. I had grown, I had changed, and I had become something more. I was a hero, and I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Previously, the sudden appearance of a mysterious energy signature on the horizon had threatened to disrupt the fragile peace in Aetheria, and Lirien's warning about the possible connection to the ancient being known as the Devourer of Ethers had left us with a sense of urgency. The air had seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy as the signature grew stronger, and I had felt the weight of uncertainty settling in. With the Echofractor's army dissipating and the land beginning to heal, I had known that our journey was far from over. As I stood there, gazing out at the swirling portal that had transported us to the realm of the ethers, I felt a sense of trepidation wash over me. The Keeper of the Gates gift, a map that would lead us to the source of the Devourer's power, seemed like a fragile thread of hope in the face of the daunting challenges that lay ahead. I thought back to the journey that had brought us here, the trials we had faced, and the growth I had experienced. I had come so far, and yet I knew that I was still just beginning to realize my potential. The journey through the realm had been a blur of color and sound, a kaleidoscope of experiences that had tested my limits and pushed me to grow. I had discovered hidden strengths and abilities within myself, and I had formed unbreakable bonds with my companions. But as we stood at the threshold of this new challenge, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. I glanced around, my senses on high alert, and that's when I saw her, a figure emerging from the shadows, her eyes fixed intently on me. She was tall and statuesque, with skin like polished obsidian and hair that seemed to flow like the wind. Her eyes burned with an inner fire, and I could sense a deep power emanating from her. Lirien's voice was low and cautious beside me. "Who are you?" she asked. The woman's gaze never wavered from mine. "I am Kalia, a warrior of the ethers," she said, her voice like music. "And I have been sent to guide you on your quest." I raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Guide us?" I repeated. "Why do we need a guide?" Kalia's smile was enigmatic. "The path ahead is fraught with danger," she said. "But with my help, you may yet succeed where others have failed." As we journeyed deeper into the realm, Kalia proved to be a valuable ally. Her knowledge of the land and its creatures, invaluable. But I couldn't shake the feeling that she was hiding something from us, that there was more to her story than she was letting on. I decided to confront her, to try and get to the bottom of her motivations. "Kalia, I have to ask," I said, my voice low and serious. "Why are you helping us? What's in it for you?" Kalia's expression turned grave, and for a moment I thought I saw a glimmer of pain in her eyes. "I have a personal stake in this," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "The Devourer's power has destroyed my home, my family. I want to see it stopped, no matter the cost." I felt a surge of empathy for her, and I knew that I had to trust her. We were in this together, and I had to believe that she was on our side. As we neared the heart of the realm, the air grew thick with energy, and I could feel the Devourer's power pulsing through the land. Kalia's guidance had been invaluable, but I knew that the final challenge lay ahead. And then, in a burst of light and sound, we reached the inner sanctum of the Devourer's lair. The being itself was a massive, crystalline entity that pulsed with energy, its very presence seeming to fill the air with an otherworldly power. I felt my heart pounding in my chest as I gazed upon the Devourer, my mind racing with the implications of what I was about to do. Kalia's voice was steady beside me. "This is it," she said. "This is the moment of truth." I took a deep breath, steeling myself for what lay ahead. I knew that I had to destroy the Devourer, no matter the cost. But as I reached out to touch the crystalline entity, I felt a surge of doubt. Was I doing the right thing? In that moment, I knew that I had to trust myself. I had grown, I had changed, and I had become something more. I was a hero, and I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. With a newfound sense of determination, I began to work on a solution, using my connection to the Devourer's power to find a way to balance the energy and restore harmony to the realm. As I worked, I felt a sense of growth and transformation, a sense of becoming something more. The journey was far from over, but I was ready. The future was bright, and I was excited to see what lay ahead. I was no longer the same person who had stumbled into Aetheria all those months ago. I had grown, I had changed, and I had become something more. I was a hero, and I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The Devourer's power began to fade, and the realm began to heal. I felt a sense of pride and accomplishment, knowing that I had saved Aetheria. But as I looked out at the new, restored landscape, I knew that our journey was far from over. There were still challenges to face, still mysteries to uncover, and I knew that I would face them head-on, ready and prepared. The journey ahead would be fraught with danger, but I was no longer afraid. I was a hero, and I was ready to face whatever came next. As we stood there, basking in the glow of our victory, I knew that I had found my place in this world. I was a protector, a guardian of Aetheria and its people, and I would do everything in my power to keep them safe. The future was bright, and I was excited to see what lay ahead. I was a hero, and I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. But little did I know, a new threat was emerging, one that would test my limits and push me to grow once again. Aetheria was not out of danger yet, and I had to be ready to face whatever came next. The journey ahead would be long and difficult, but I was ready. I was a hero, and I would do everything in my power to save Aetheria. The darkness that had been gathering on the horizon was starting to take shape, and I could feel its presence looming over us. I knew that I had to be prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The journey ahead would be fraught with danger, but I was no longer afraid. I was a hero, and I was ready to face whatever came next. And so, with a newfound sense of determination and purpose, I stood tall, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. I was ready to face it head-on. The journey ahead would be long and difficult, but I was ready. I was a hero, and I would do everything in my power to save Aetheria. The darkness that loomed on the horizon would not defeat me. I would face it head-on with courage and determination in my heart. I was a hero, and I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The future was bright, and I was excited to see what lay ahead. I was no longer the same person who had stumbled into Aetheria all those months ago. I had grown, I had changed, and I had become something more. And so, with a newfound sense of purpose and determination, I set out to face whatever challenges lay ahead, ready to protect Aetheria and its people from whatever dangers lay in store. The journey ahead would be long and difficult, but I was ready. I was a hero, and I would do everything in my power to save Aetheria. The darkness that loomed on the horizon would not defeat me. I would face it head-on, with courage and determination in my heart. I was a hero, and I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: I was ready to face it head-on, and I knew that I would emerge victorious no matter what dangers lay ahead. I was a hero, and I would save Aetheria. The journey ahead would be long and difficult, but I was ready. I was a hero, and I would do everything in my power to save Aetheria. And I knew that I would succeed, no matter what challenges lay ahead. I was a hero, and I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The future was bright, and I was excited to see what lay ahead. I had grown, I had changed, and I had become something more. And so, with a newfound sense of purpose and determination, I set out to face whatever challenges lay ahead, ready to protect Aetheria and its people from whatever dangers lay in store. The journey ahead would be long and difficult, but I was ready. I was a hero, and I would save Aetheria.